What's up, guys? Coach Seth here with Zeus Fitness. It's been a while. Been kind of busy with some stuff lately, a lot of programming and just a lot of stuff going on in life. So sorry I haven't updated. I think it's been like 5 days since my last video. So just kind of diving right into it. Today we're going to talk about alcohol and weightlifting. Should you be drinking? Should you be not? As always, guys, subscribe, please. We finally hit that 100 mark. I think I'm actually at 105 now. So all of you that are watching this that are subscribed, thank you so much. Moving on. So is alcohol bad when you're weightlifting? So the short answer is yes, obviously. Alcohol is in the same category as smoking and all the other drugs and stuff that you shouldn't be using. Like if you're taking cocaine and weightlifting, that's just not a good idea, right? So no is the short answer. Are people still going to do it? Yes. Do I still drink on the occasion? Yes, I do. The big thing that I'm a believer in and that we've talked about before in my other video with why diets are bad is everything in moderation. A lot of people can't control their alcohol consumption, and that's their vice, and that's okay. But if you know how to control it and you're also in the gym, like myself, you can moderate it. You know, I had my wife's birthday this past weekend. We went out and drank at the wineries. Not a big deal. It was the first time I drank in a long time. Okay? Am I out every single weekend drinking? No, I'm not. So everything in moderation, guys. So to kind of explain why it's bad and kind of why people tend to get fat while drinking alcohol, people think it's about the calories they take in, which has something to do because, you know, if you're drinking a beer, for example, that has, you know, a lot of calories, you're increasing your caloric intake for that day. So yes and no. And like I said, I'll explain. So when I was in college, we learned about what happens as the body processes alcohol through the liver. So obviously you have to ingest it through your stomach when the alcohol transfers to your liver. As your liver is processing this alcohol, there is an enzyme that is released after the alcohol is broken down called aromatase. And this aromatase enzyme is a nasty bastard. And essentially what it does is it attacks your free-floating testosterone in your body. Therefore destroying and lowering your testosterone levels, number one. Number two, as a byproduct of the aromatase destroying that testosterone, estrogen is then produced. And estrogen is a direct cause of fat accumulation. You probably got where I was going with that, okay? That's how kind of the chemical balance of things works. And that's why I said earlier, like, yes, it's about the calories, but it's also about the alcohol itself, which we'll get into that at the end. So with that being said, and that fat accumulation happening and the estrogen levels being elevated because your body is now, you're ingesting something that's destroying your body's own testosterone, is for men, perfect example, man boobs. Guys with higher estrogen levels get gynecomastia, which is the inflammation of the mammillary glands in the chest. So a lot of dudes that have saggy boobs, essentially, they probably drink a lot. And it has something to do with genetics, but for this example, it's drinking. If a guy drinks every single day, you know the body type. You know, skinny arms, skinny legs, big belly. That means lots of visceral fat or fat surrounding the organs. With the man boobies, it's kind of disgusting. But hey, I'm just giving you guys the science here. This is what happens, all right? And it happens in women too. You know, increased estrogen levels, even for a woman, is not good. Because testosterone is like the body's natural fat burner. So the lower that level is, the easier it is for a male and female to put on fat, and not the good kind of fat where we're like, oh, we're trying to bulk up a little bit. You know, it's like the bad fat, the cellulite, that kind of stuff that we don't want, right? So again, that's kind of how it works. as far as it's processed through the body. Now, one thing that was kind of interesting, and I'll try to keep this story short, is when I was in college, I asked my professor who taught me this, and my theory, I call it the high alcohol theory. I don't know if it's actually out there. He didn't really know the answer so I asked him, I said, look, so a lot of people that are trying to lose weight or watch their calorie intake or whatever, based off of what we were just talking about, theoretically, if you have a shot of tequila, for example, that's at 30% alcohol by volume, and then you drink a beer, which is at, I don't know, I think Bud Light's like 4.2. We'll say 4%, round it off. 30% alcohol, 4% alcohol. That's a big difference. But people fall into that misconception, oh, well, beer has more calories, so I'm not gonna drink that, or I'm gonna drink a lower calorie beer. Where tequila, practically no calories at all, but the alcohol is higher. So my theory, and I was asking him, was theoretically, could it be worse for you to drink the lower calorie, higher alcohol content drinks than it would be for you to drink beer? And then we kind of got in the debate of like, oh, well, they kind of offset each other just due to the fact that beer has more calories, or this drink has more calories, this one does not. And we're not even talking about the sugary mixed drinks with all the other BS that they put in those. This is just strictly alcohol content. So that was kind of interesting. I haven't really found any articles that have supported that, but in my brain, it kind of makes sense. So people were like, oh, well, that's why I just drink liquor. I don't drink beer anymore because I'm trying to watch my figure. And I bring this conversation up and they're like, oh shit, is that true? I'm like, well, that's just my opinion. Again, everything in moderation, guys. You just be careful is all I'm saying. All right. Now, I have asked me, kind of caveating off of that point of, people say, okay, if I am going to drink, what drinks should I drink? Well, that's kind of up to you. Again, alcohol is going to process the same through your body. I mean, I guess if you had to make a recommendation, which I'm not a doctor nor a registered dietitian or any of the things, this is just my personal experience, red wine, because that at least has proven to have antioxidants in it where at some point it's good for you. But again, if people are going out to drink, most of them just trying to get drunk. So that's not good. Your body is just feeding off the alcohol and it's destroying everything inside of you. So pick your battles is all I'm saying. Okay, so just to recap, is alcohol bad for you while you're weightlifting? Yes. If you're gonna do it in moderation. If, I drink every weekend, cut it back to every other weekend. If you're drinking every other weekend, you still think that's too much, drink once a month. You know what I mean? Like special occasions are okay, everything in moderation. How it works and what happens in the body, stomach to the liver gets processed, aromatase, the bad guy, attacks testosterone, which lowers T levels and releases estrogen. Fat accumulation occurs, okay? And then we talked about the higher alcohol theory. I still think it's correct. Let me know what you guys think. If you think that that's right or wrong, like, dislike, comment, I don't know. And if you guys have any more ideas on something else you want me to hear me talk about, this is kind of one of my rants that I like talking about. I think it's very fascinating. Anyways, guys, if you like the video, subscribe, like, and as always, please stay safe out there. Everything in moderation. See you next time.